Thailand's newly elected parliament will meet for the first time today, setting in motion the process of electing the nation's next prime minister. A vote is expected later this month. New lawmakers are set to swear in, and the House Speaker will be elected. Move Forward has forged an 8-party coalition to form the next government. It's led by its leader, Pheu Lim Darunrat, after winning the general election in May. The coalition has the support of around 312 lawmakers. To become prime minister, Mr. Pheu needs at least 376 votes. Meanwhile, investigations into his alleged ownership of media shares and issues related to his assets and debt declaration could stifle his prime ministerial ambition. Mr. Pheu, though, has assured that all 8 parties remain unified. Meanwhile, Move Forward has been locked in a struggle with Pheu over the House speakership. Mr. Pheu says his party has named its candidate, Padipat Suntipada, for the seat. But Pheu is standing firm that it should get the seat to be the head of the legislature. Reports say both parties are hoping to continue talks to reach a deal today. A vote for the speaker seat is scheduled for tomorrow. King Maha Vajiralongkorn will preside over the opening of the Thai parliament this evening, 50 days after the 14th May general election. But the main event will be tomorrow, when the House of Representatives elects the speaker, a powerful position that has created a public rift between the two winning parties, Move Forward and Pheu. The speaker vote sets the stage for the House and Senate to jointly select a prime minister next week. The two parties and their coalition have agreed to nominate Move Forward leader Pheu Lim Darunrat for prime minister. And for more analysis, Harrison Cheng joins me now. He's a director at specialist risk consultancy Control Risks. Thanks for joining me today this afternoon. First off, what are you looking out for with the opening of Parliament following the recent elections?
Thanks, Teresa. I think the first one we'll be looking out for is really the House Speaker vote that you mentioned just now. Essentially, Parliament the lower house at least has about up to 13th of July to pick a House Speaker. And that's really the most contentious point right now between Move Forward and Pheu. Both of them are keen on maintaining that they want the position for their own party. And they haven't shown any signs of getting to an agreement despite having repeated rounds of talks. The last being the one yesterday, where Pheu previously said that he was confident that the talks will reach a resolution, but they didn't again. And so Pheu today is again having a party meeting to try and iron out what his position is. And I think that this is really the key issue to watch.
Okay, let's linger on this point for a moment. The role of speaker. Why is it so important in Thai politics?
It's primarily important because the speaker has a lot of power over what goes on the legislative agenda, what is ranked first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and in terms of bills to be discussed in the parliamentary session. And that's really key for Move Forward to control, because Move Forward has the most radical policy agenda of any party that competed in the recent elections. Obviously, top of the list includes reforms to the military, the end of military conscription, and the key, or rather the proposal to amend Article 112 of the Criminal Code, or more commonly referenced as the lèse-majesté law. Move Forward probably knows that unless it controls the House Speaker role, there's a really good chance that any other House Speaker is going to deprioritize some of these contentious reforms so that they can maintain some kind of peace with the military. And I think if Move Forward is not able to get the House Speaker role, a Pheu speaker, for example, will probably deprioritize the lèse-majesté law reform as well as a military conscription, just to ensure that, for example, the risk of a military coup is not going to be high.
So at this point, who do you think has the edge for that crucial role, given Pheu has already said they're not going to concede that position?
I think negotiations between Pheu and Move Forward are still very fluid. Pheu has put forward a proposal that, for example, if Move Forward fails to get Pheu elected as Prime Minister in that crucial vote later this month, the one where the Senate and the lower house combine to sit to vote for the Prime Minister, then Pheu would have the right to put forth its Prime Ministerial candidate to replace Peter, and in turn, it will cede the House Speaker position to move forward. So I think both parties are trying to work out an agreement where they can actually continue to work together in the coalition. Right now, I think Pheu Thai is still very much intent on working with Peter and move forward. I think it realizes that there's always a somewhat seemingly easier option of working with, for example, some of the incumbent coalition parties like Boom Jai Thai, for example, or the Democrat Party. But the risk of that cannot be overstated, right? If they decide to do that, it will be seen as such a major compromise among its party base. And most likely in the next election, if Move Forward is still there and not dissolved, they're going to snap up many of the votes that have gone to Pheu Thai in this election.
Harrison, last week, Mr. Pita said that he has enough support in the Senate to become the country's next premier. Is his confidence warranted? What are the chances of him becoming the next prime minister right now?
I think it's extremely difficult to say. That's a simple answer, but I'll try to give a more nuanced answer. Is that there is a chance that some of the senators will want to respect the popular will as expressed in the election results and be able to support Peter. I think Peter, stating that he might have the support of perhaps some of the senators, not all of the senators, obviously, because many have come forth to oppose him. He may be able to get 10 to 20 senators, but he still needs a good 30 to 40 more votes. And where could that come from? I think one possibility is that it could actually come from the Democrat Party, which many people have sort of perhaps ignored because it achieved its worst ever electoral result in May. But Democrat Party is going to sit for an important leadership vote this very Sunday. And there are rumors that former Prime Minister, former Democrat Party leader Abhisit Vejjajiva could actually be re-elected as party leader. And I think Abhisit knows that to sort of promote Democrat Party as a genuinely democratic force, it should respect the popular will and actually lend its support to Peter, even if the Democrat Party chooses not to join an opposition coalition. I think if the Democrat Party does not do that, essentially what that means is that it will continue to be seen by progressive voters as a party that has continued to be willing to work with pro-military parties. And based on the election results in May, I think that would actually be quite detrimental to their electoral prospects next time out.
Harrison, we're running out of time, but very quickly, I want your thoughts on the role you see the military playing following their resounding defeat in the last election.
So I think the military is still very much going to be involved in politics, regardless of what this prime ministerial vote turns out to be and what the next government is going to be. I mean, the military influence is very much entrenched in the constitution that they drafted and endorsed in 2017. And I think what the military is concerned about is what would happen if Move Forward forms the government and starts to undertake policies that might be seen as detrimental to, for example, the monarchy, to the military's own interests. And I think when you talk about Thailand, the scenario of a military coup can never be ruled out. Of course, it may not be the first option that they will jump to because of the damage to international legitimacy. But the military has shown time and again, under Prayut, under Pravit, that they are not afraid to resort to that kind of measure. And I think as we go in the coming months, to sum it up, as we go into the coming months, if we see the security situation becoming significantly destabilized, the military could have that context to come in and restore peace and order. And that could result in various other forms of interference that would cripple, if not oust, the civilian government that will be formed in the month or so.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much for your insights today. That was Harrison Cheng, Director at Control Risks.